Welcome to Alchemy Avenue, where we transform in real time, trust the vibe, and grow on purpose. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement, a reminder that you don't need fixing, just unlocking. Around here, we laugh, we build, we heal, and we elevate, all powered by that deep inner knowing that says, this is exactly where I'm meant to be. You were made for this version of you, so let's expand, let's enjoy it, and let's keep becoming who we already are. Tap in. This is Alchemy Avenue.
Welcome back to another wonderful and amazing episode of Alchemy Avenue. As you see today, I have guests. So let's get into it. We are at Oasis at the Mill for this particular episode. So thankful, so happy that they opened this space for us. Peace and powerful rising to everyone tuning in. Today's episode is coming to you from a truly intentional space. The Oasis at the Mill right here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the great city. This beautiful curated teahouse is a wellness center, offers not only incredible selection of herbal teas and artisan blends, spices, and other teas and other little things that you can get. It also holds space for healing, Reiki, yoga, massage therapy. They got a salt room. So they got a lot of different things in this space that they curate and they do. It's a sanctuary for clarity and community, where energy meets intention. Deep gratitude to Zachari and the team. Thank you so much for just this opportunity. We are excited as we come today to build. If you're ever in the area, you can get here 918 Bridge Street Northwest, or get them a call at 336-837-6652. Much love again to the Oasis at the Mill family. All right, today got some very, when I say very special, I mean very special and highly touted guests today. Got my wife, Kenya. Got Kima. This is one of my wife's good friends, one of our good friends, and this is my sister, Keisha.
Okay.
So, thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate y'all for coming to build. Yes, of course. So let's just take this thing off. Let's build. We're going to talk about a lot of great things today. Topic for today is, it's deeper than chemistry. Love, shadow, and the real work of connection. So that's what we're going to build on today. Let's kind of talk about it. So let's break the ice with this. Now that you're older and you've been through life, what would you say that you were attracted to before, and now what would be an attraction for you in like a committed, relationship? So that's how we'll start it off with that. So what are you, or what are we really attracted to? So you can kind of go from what you were and then kind of build on where you are now and how that has changed. Anybody can start. Oh yeah.
I would say back in the day, I was attracted to like the materialistic type of things, like things that I've seen, and versus things that they could actually offer me. So if you didn't have like certain things, I was like, or if it was just being attracted to things and not what they can provide for me. And as I grew, it's like, you need to be focused on what the person can actually do for you and actually give you in return of nice things. And if they can't provide nice things, it's okay, as long as they are imparting to you, making you feel safe, making you feel like that you are important, and that they are divinely and they connected to you, and they see you for who you are and not judging you. So
and to piggyback off of that, back in the day, you had to have a certain look. Like you had to have a certain look, a certain type of employment status and things like that. But now it's just, for one, I'm in a great relationship. Let me put that out there. That I manifested for real. But at one point, before he came into my life, I just stopped looking at certain things. This man has to look like this, or he has to have this, and more internal things like him being intentional about me, him, loving me and my kids, him, paying attention, him, calling and keeping in contact, being in communication, being consistent,
Yes.
keeping his word. So the things on the outside were not important because clearly they wasn't working. But here I am with this great, wonderful, fine man who has all the things on the inside and the outside. So
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's good. That perspective is commendable. The consistency part.
yes.
For me, I think that back in the day, I was more attracted to the physicality also. I think more naturally, most people are attracted, initially we're attracted physically. I think that there was always someone that I kind of looked like my grandfather who raised me. I looked for like someone who could provide, someone who could, take care of me in a specific way, not just financially, but I just kind of like, okay, he's responsible. I think before I was like, okay, let me make sure that this person is responsible. But then, even though everything else other needs weren't met. But for now, I feel like carrying that over to a certain degree, I've been more so now. It's like, okay, are you driven? Or do you have purpose in life? And the consistency, that part wasn't there. I think I didn't pay attention to whether or not someone was like, oh, okay, I'm going to call you today, but it might be a few days.
Right.
And then I'm like, where you at?
Which day?
Yeah,
Which
day?
day?
What are we doing here?
Right.
So I think more so now I'm more conscious of like the core values versus the outer shell. So
That's what's up. So that kind of goes into the next point, though. So can chemistry be confused with chaos?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because you thinking that the chemistry is there because you are physically like attracted to one another, but when things start progressing, like back in the day, my husband is amazing, but whenever back in the day, you just like, oh yeah, he is fine, or he looks nice, or he got it all. But then whenever we start talking and stuff, or big things started happening, you're like, oh wait a minute, you fine, but you don't know, you have no clue about how to handle me, or how to protect me, or how to give me what I need when I need it, because they don't have it. So yes, you can definitely be some chemistry and chaos, because you can be physically attracted to somebody, but the chaos comes when a big situation happens and they don't know how to help you go through it or help you get through the situation.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that's what I think.
That's awesome. Have y'all ever chased a vibe, and this may kind of go with that, chased a vibe that had no foundation?
Yes.
Yes.
Stupid days.
That's right.
But you just get so caught up in this is what I want. He's this is this, or this is how he handles me. This is how he looks, and there's nothing there. Like there's no connection. You can't have proper conversations.
Yeah.
You can't vibe together. There's nothing. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing there except the physical or whatever.
Yeah.
There's nothing keeping you internally connected with this person. You're just chasing this vibe and with nothing there. So when you're done, it's just like, oh, okay. So definitely.
And then you begin to get conflicted with the emotional part of it, because then you become invested. I think when we go into that, I'm going to say for me, I think that the physicality and having an intimacy with someone, and this is before, because now I'm conscious of things, but I think that just to kind of what you were talking about, Kima, with when there's nothing there, like you get so attracted and so focused on, you hyper focus on, hey, you know, he can please me, this person can please me, and you know, there are things that are related in that aspect, but then you lose so much of yourself because you're gravitated to the wrong thing, you know, and you lose yourself because one, you've given all of the goods up and the precious, you know, our precious things that we have, and then it's like, but you can't fulfill me in other areas. And back to what you said, when something hits the fan, then can you be there for me? If I'm going through some, you know, a trial or something internally, how can you effectively address that and allow some attention to be predicated for that particular space versus, you know, I'm gonna call you when
you come out.
Yeah, whenever you find.
Yeah, when you're fine.
Yeah.
It's just like, how can you don't get to celebrate with me in the joys when you didn't, you know, offer support emotionally, especially when you're attached to someone. I think that's really hard. So yeah.
Or you don't even tell them because you're like, oh, they're not gonna be, because you think about it and you're like, oh, they're not gonna be able to help me. But I couldn't imagine doing it now because David's the first person I call like if something's happening. I'm like, wait a minute. And I try to be like, okay, well, let's try to figure it yourself. And then I'm like, nah, I'm not calling. So for me, it's like you gotta have that. You can't just be caught up in the whole vibe of, you know, what's happening physically. You gotta be able to look beyond that, so you can be able to be in an effective place in your life, and you won't be lost in sorry.
Because you're gonna lose every time. You're gonna lose. And then sometimes you get caught up in it, and you know the person ain't for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I already know this person don't have this, and this, and you still trying to hold on just by the little bit of that string because it's comfortable.
That's settling.
It's what you're used to.
Right.
I don't want to leave this one and then find, you know what I'm saying, something else. So it's just like you know, and then you just still put up with it for whatever reason.
Or you think they're gonna change, or you think it's gonna like, oh, maybe next time maybe they'll grow and they'll change, but.
Right. Yeah. And you run into, especially so if you're trying to be like that provider and trying to do those kind of things, and then somebody doesn't really appreciate, or at least for men, we try to do, and we think that women should understand exactly if I do X, Y, and Z, then you should do this. And it comes to a point where you get to do, and then, oh, she doesn't appreciate me. But a lot of times we don't know how to articulate and say how we want to be appreciated, because some men are cool with just, hey, thank you so much, baby. Or some men need, you know, other ways of, you know, I guess to affirm that, okay, I did this part, now you do this part. And then some men they feel like they have to just give. And that's just their role. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's just what they do. And then they end up burning themselves out at some point. Because it's funny when a lot of men say stuff to me like, yeah, I do this. And I always ask, so what have you done for yourself? Or what do you do for yourself? And I'm like, I don't need that. Right, you say that now. Yeah. But what's going to happen 2 years from now, or a big situation happens and you're thinking that all I do, and y'all didn't see this, or all I do, you know what I mean? So a lot of times men, from their perspective, or from my perspective, and just talking about men, they do so much, and they think that things are supposed to just be recognized without, again, just proper communication about the situation. You know what I mean? So now this is an interesting question. Whenever I was getting the notes together, so what feels magnetic now that used to feel toxic? And I left the question, I was going to take it out, but I left the question because to me, for this question, what feels magnetic now that used to feel toxic? To me, that question, at least for me, can only be answered if you kind of done some work. Because now you understand that maybe someone showing me the love that they were showing me, or being playful with me, or whatever that was, may not have been a bad thing. I just didn't know how to receive it.
Yeah.
I went in a place to understand how to receive something like that. Does that make sense? So what about that? What feels magnetic now that used to feel toxic? Yeah, I like that question because it did.
Yeah, you resonate with that. Thinking about it now, when you said doing the work, I think that it's necessary when you're doing the work, you become more clear on what you actually need internally, and what satisfies you, and what is sustainable. And I think that I laughed inside whenever you were reading that, because for me, I know that I didn't always appreciate someone constantly like checking in with me or wanting to. I think I've always wanted or desired and enjoyed someone to, do nice things for me and appreciate that type of energy. But I believe sometimes when it's like overboard, or it's like extra, then I'm in the beginning. And I think I'm going to say in the beginning of relationships, I think there's there are levels to like, hey, we're just getting to know each other. We're learning each other now. Where our morals are aligned, and that alignment has to take place. But I think that I would push back a whole lot more before, like, no, that's a bit much. But now I'm like, yeah, I don't mind you doing things for me. I don't mind you actually, writing me a poem. And, I love that. I love it because people don't like, leaving me a note or just so small things. And I guess being intentional, I think they call it simp now. Simping. So, but forget all of that. It's like, hey, I would rather someone show me exactly how they feel and express it than to not express it. And then long down the line, I'm like, I got this person who isn't expressive, and that's what I'm about, is expression. So I think I was more pushed back from someone actually showering me with the right type of.
I was just about to ask that. Is it really the right attention at the beginning? Because even though it may be early, but if it's done with the way that you said that's aligned with you, or they paid attention enough, then it may not be as overbearing because you align with it. But again, I guess it depends on where you are at as a person. Because if you're not ready for that, then it's going to seem like, oh, they're doing too much so early. But if you have a connection, why wouldn't someone want to, love on you, or, just show affection in a way that, a creative way, you know what I'm saying? And granted, again, if you're not feeling that person, that's different. I'm only talking about if you're feeling someone, and because of course it's different. If you're not really feeling them like that, then anything they do is going to be like, oh God, he's tripping, or she's doing the most.
Leave me alone.
You know what I'm saying? She's doing too much.
And then later on, you find out they're the one, and you're like, oh,
that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
I was just about to say this. You're like, when I first started dating David, it was like, oh my God, like he is doing the most.
I remember.
He is here, like he is showing up. He is, I said, oh yeah, it's too much. And so it was like I kind of like backed away, or I got scared. Like, what is he about to do? Is he about to just just leave, or what is he doing to get all of this? Because he used to just be on it, but he still is like that's what it never changed. So I'm like, okay, but then I kind of like broke it off. Like, listen, I just can't do it. I'm scared. I don't know what we're gonna do. So it's just about us being scared to be our full self, because you never, unless you meet the right person and you create that vibe, you are never fully open to be emotionally attached to them, or willing to accept the things they're doing, because you never have received it.
Right.
Or then when it gets to be too much for you per se, it's not too much. It's just what they're doing. This is just what you need, and this is what you're supposed to have in your life. This is how I'm supposed to be treated. But I didn't know that, so I'm like, oh my God, like you're doing too much. So that was the same thing. Like, and now look, he the one.
It was wonderful. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But you get
That's
scared,
true.
like you
Yes.
have so many failures or failed relationships or people with false intentions.
Yeah.
So it's like when someone comes along, you're just kind of like, what's he up to?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what you want, boy? Or you for real? Like, man, stop playing me. Like, so you,
That's
just
so
because there's so
true.
many bad experiences, you just don't really, like you said, give your all and embrace and take in what someone has for you.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So when chemistry alone isn't enough, we're breaking down the deeper discernment, valuing energetic alignment, emotional availability, and soul resonance over just fleeting connection. Because a lot of times we think that, okay, I like her, I like him a lot. I like her, I like him. Let me show up in this way. But I think at times when you're not really secure with yourself, and you just go out there just doing whatever, and that's when a lot of those traits a lot of those things that you're triggered with are very easily, clicked and plucked, and you're like, oh man, she getting on my nerves. She doing this, she doing that. But it's not that. It's just you're not in a space where you can see yourself to be valued from someone that's trying to value you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we could either scare the person off or try to be ready for something that we're really not ready for. You know what I mean? So that's very good. I appreciate that. So let's kind of turn the page a little bit. So let's talk about releasing the fear of being too much. So this could be in any aspect. Like single, in your family unit, you're in a relationship, just releasing the fear of being too much. Because again, like we just talked about, and this is what we talk about. This is what I talk about. It's being your fully authentic self. When you're that person, then what you're doing is showing a mirror up to other people.
Yeah.
When you're your full authentic self, because in their mind, they're thinking, why are they so comfortable? Or why do these different things happen to them? Because then they get to see that they just being themselves, and they kind of envy that because they're like, why? Why can't I do that? Why can't I do that? But you really can though. That's the hack that a lot of people that get jealous of other people.
Yeah.
That's the hack that they don't even realize is if you just be you, because there's only one of you.
Yeah.
If you just be you, the type of stuff that you'll be able to do, it'll just open things up for you. Your value and your the type of life you want is right there for you. So what is releasing the fear of being too much to you all? And I'll start that one. I'll start. So for me, I'm thinking that because being confident in yourself and understanding that you are just a natural leader, and understanding how you move, how you walk, and how you just do the things you do. To me, that's when some people can look at you funny, or some people can say little small comments to you, and it's jokingly, but to me, you gotta watch for people that can always joke about something that you're doing, but in a negative way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you always gotta watch it. So for me, I've always been a natural leader, but I never knew I never knew how to hold that. I never knew what that, because I felt like you had to be up in front, you had to do, X, Y, and Z, and just understanding that the way I can lead is just being myself.
and just giving the advice I give, but just also walking the life that I want to live. And the advice I'm giving is the same way that I apply that to my own life. So for me, even now, I talk to some of the friends, or I talk to them. We talk, in different spurts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I give them the information. We always trying to build on different things. And then sometimes they'll say, "You always positive. Why you always positive?" I get that a lot from a lot of my friends. Why are you always positive?
Yeah.
And again, I have no other choice.
It's the why, right?
Yeah, I have no other choice. To me, there's no other way to be.
What do you mean?
Yeah, there's no
That's
other
right.
way. What else is there to be? So
That's right.
for y'all, what does that look like?
And I'm a believer, whatever you put out is what you get back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if you are confused and if you're not sure of yourself, if you're always causing chaos, that's what your life is going to be.
Yeah.
But if you're putting out, positivity, just being a ray of sunshine to other people, that's what you're going to get back in your life. I don't have a podcast, but I do a lot of positive videos on my Facebook and Instagram page. And 10 years ago, if someone would have told me that I would be out here encouraging people, putting, videos out, affirmations and things, I'm like, not me, that's crazy, because I don't talk in front of people.
Right.
And then like you said, when the people come in, like I'll have people, "Girl, you always on Facebook, or you always posting videos, well, you're always on there too."
Right, you can't
It's not like I'm on there, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm on there twerking, showing my body, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm out here putting out good, positive things for people.
Yeah.
But you are going to have those people. You're always doing it, and you can tell it's like a little hate. But why are you hating on me? Because you can be doing the same thing. There's enough out here for everybody. Just like there's several different brands of bread. It's the same thing with
I like that.
life and positivity. It's a lot for everybody to get their cut in here.
Right, be your own slice.
Yeah, you can be your own
Right.
slice. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta take it up a notch for your brand.
Right, for sure.
For your brand. So I'm just glad that I'm able to even do that, because I got a lot of positive feedback from people who told me, like, what you said today was right on time, or this changed the situation, or they thought about something a different way. My thing is always, whatever video or post that I put out, as long as I'm touching one person for that time or whatever, I've done my job for that
That's
post.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
so you just got to step out and do what what you've been feeling like you're called to do. I feel like I'm a vessel. That God is using me as a vessel to be a blessing to other people.
That's
For
right.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think mine is, when are you going to be too much? Because I feel like I shy away from talking or getting on there, or just being like who I really am and like talking about it. Or I have so much in me, but I don't give it out because I'm scared of the responsibility it's going to hold, or people holding me up so high that if then something happens. So I'm like, when are you going to be too much for me? Like, when are you going to step out there and start doing exactly what you know you're supposed to be doing and what you can do? So it's not too much of like I'm doing too much for me in my head. Like I've never seen, like, no one ever told me like you're doing too much. But it's always, for me, it's like, when are you going to be too much? When are you going to do too much? So you can be able to be seen, or you can be able to know that people know what you're really capable of, instead of like shying away and kind of like backing away, like, I don't know. And knowing that I do know what to say, or I know what to do, and I just say, I don't know. Because I just don't want it. Like, but when are you going to be too much? I guess that's the question for me. So when are you going to be too much? When are you going to step out and do the things that you're supposed to be doing, or that you're like shine brighter than what it is right now? When are you going to be too much? So I guess that's my thing.
That's what's up. Yeah, that actually goes into. Go ahead.
I love that. I love that because you received a revelation, and and being honest with, and that's doing the inner work too, is being completely honest with ourselves to say, hey, why? And then when you dig deeper, like you said, Kenya, you're like, when am I going to step outside and do, a little bit extra here, or a little bit extra there, or shine in this way, and and so I think I love having fresh revelation, and when we actually see ourselves, that's that mirror that you talk about. So that I love that.
Yeah, that goes into the next point too, because I was going to ask, like, so do you start shrinking or overperforming in friendships, with your family, even in relationships, when you think that you are too much, and even speaking to your point, even though you're saying you're not too much, but then you can still shrink even smaller. You know what I mean? So what does it look like? When have you done that, and why did you do it? So when did you start shrinking or even overperforming because you was told, or it was made it seem like you were doing too much or not doing enough?
Like if I was like posting, or I'm doing like on Facebook or Instagram now, they done shut the stuff down. They keep shutting my stuff down, so it's like, dang, like, well, maybe I am doing too much, or but period. Like people like may say like, you always posting, like they tell him like, you always just posting, and it's fine. I mean, but I would start shrinking, like maybe I shouldn't post, or maybe I shouldn't do this, or maybe I shouldn't say that because I'm doing too much. But you will continue like to shrink yourself because you don't want then it'd be like the responsibility that comes behind, speaking up or having the knowledge or having the things to do. So when they tell me things, I'm like, oh, maybe I am. But just that somebody just saying that one thing can like deter you from doing more than what you're capable of doing. So just in those areas or anything.
Yeah.
For me, I don't listen to the side noise at this point in my life. At one time I did, but I've just learned to just block it because everybody doesn't know what my path is and what me and God have talked about.
Yeah.
So you telling me, well, girl, you're always on there. Well, if you're always seeing me clearly, you're always on there too. You know what I'm saying? So while you're on there, maybe you should watch one of my videos to help you in your life.
Yes.
But it just makes me just want to go harder because it's like, okay, not just the positive people. I'm not doing it for them, but I'm also doing it for the people who want to be negative about what I'm posting and what I'm saying. So it just makes me want to go a little bit harder and over the top.
Right.
I'm not one of the people that you're going to see that there are some people that are posting online 10, 50,000 times a day.
Yeah.
That's their business because I know how to unfollow. I know how to, do my settings for, not to see those things, but I do put things, and good content out. Like I'm very intentional about what I put on Facebook. I'm not on there just talking. Like I have a plan. Like I plan it out in my head, and I'm intentional about what I'm doing.
Right.
So I'm not just out here just putting mess out. Oh, let me just put this video out real fast, to see who's gonna like it or whatever. I could have 0 likes, 0 loves on my stuff, but as long as I'm seeing them views because people watch it, that's what's important to me. I don't care if I have 100 likes and loves. If I have 100 views, somebody's watching. Somebody got something. Even though you ain't replying or responding, you got something from the video. So
that's what's up.
I like that. That intentionality is important when you're, especially when you're pouring into social media. It can be frustrating to say the least. For me, I will say that I think my default button has always been the overperforming part. I think that I have always, I look back on my pictures or some things that I like back in the day or as a child, and I'm like, oh, I was always smiling. I was always like just doing a lot, And I love that because that's who I am. I am that's who I am. And I love to radiate positivity.
Yes.
To enlighten what you said earlier, Kima, is, pouring into other people. I just really love pouring into other people. I think for me, when I felt like I was shrinking is when I think it stemmed from childhood when I had to kind of feel like overperforming in front of cousins who were like, you doing too much, or, or why are you talking like this? Or why are you talking so proper? Or why are you, just asking so many questions. And I'm like, oh, that's that when you question yourself, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't, because they don't like this, or, and but I think even back then, there was a light bulb in me that was like, forget about them, forget it. It never took me that long to be like, oh, I don't care, I'm gonna do my thing, if you like it or not. But I think that it does weigh on us, though, to a certain degree, because I think that outwardly in the world, we want to be accepted as people.
Yeah.
And not so much of like, oh, I want you to like me, but there is a natural desire in us to want to be accepted and feel like we matter. And I feel like that social media thing, the same, sometimes like, oh, should I post this or should I post that? But I've arrived to a place now where I'm like, you, Kima, I'm just putting this out because it resonated in my spirit.
Exactly.
And God put it in my spirit to bless you with this positivity. And if you don't like sunshine, then, stay in the dark.
Right.
That's it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But that goes into like the programming where you think that, like you said, everybody has to like you, or even if you even not to be accepted, if you accept yourself and you are, in a space where, again, you're coming from light, you're coming from love, you're coming from positivity, then,
I have one more thing to share. Whenever, how you have friends and they're talking to you about something, and you are encouraging them, you are giving them, the advice like, girl, you should do this, or boy, you should do that, and then it's like, it don't click, so that's another, I'm gonna say this first. It don't click then. But then when they're saying, oh, you know what, today so-and-so said that I should do, and it'll be the same thing I've already told you, and then it clicked when somebody else said it. That's whenever I start like shrinking, like, okay, I'm gonna stop giving advice because you clearly not listening to me. So maybe you just need to go to the person that got it from the third time, then you can resonate with them. So that's another reason that's another way you can shrink yourself, because no one is giving the advice, and then you find out that they getting the same exact advice or the same exact words that you just gave them, and they taking it from the third person that said it. And you're like, oh, okay. So that's another way you can shrink yourself after you feel like they're not listening to you, or they want your attention, but then when you give it the advice, they don't take the advice, they take it from somewhere else.
They're not receiving it.
Right. From you.
Or choosing not to
Yeah.
listen.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a choice. It's a choice. So let's kind of go with this sentiment that we are never too much. We are in an environment that couldn't hold our fullness. That's what I like to think of it as. We're in spaces that we think. So either we shrunk ourselves down, or at times we think that we can't be who we are because those environments just couldn't hold who we truly are. This is more about reclaiming our right to take up space and show up as the whole self without an apology. Not even, I can't apologize for that.
Right.
I can't. Unfortunately, I love me so much. For me, unfortunately for you, because I love me so much that I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be.
That's right.
And again, it's best for you to be your best self.
And worry about you.
Indeed.
That's another thing, just worry about yourself.
For sure.
That's the problem. So many people so caught up in what other people are doing, they're not literally saying in their life, you're supposed to be doing this, but you're looking to the left, left and right, instead of saying focus on your path. And that's when you get caught up in, well, this person's doing this or this person's doing that.
Yeah.
Worry about you and your life.
Right. That's perfect. That goes right into the next point. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about like shadow work in real time. And I say it goes right into the next point because you're so focused on everything else around you. Like you were saying, you can't even focus on yourself. And when I ask, when people talk about different things, they ask me about, I say shadow work, what's that? So when you go into those deep parts of yourself that you buried and you start to excavate, and I say excavate, I use that because you are literally digging, and sometimes you find stuff like, I didn't know I buried that right there, or I didn't even remember that did happen.
Yeah.
I did feel a way about that. You start to think, oh
Yeah.
my God. So that's why you triggered in certain ways. So let's talk about how to start shadow work without getting lost in it. Because when you start to do this work, it can get very overwhelming. Very overwhelming. Because you're bringing up things that you, don't want to, really remember or even revisit.
Yes.
But once you start, I mean, you honestly can't stop because if you said you want to start, that means you're tired of being easily triggered. You're tired of the way that you are manifesting the life around you.
Yeah.
You were tired of something.
Yeah.
So once you get into that space, you're just going to frustrate yourself more. So it's not easy work, but it's easier to start doing the work with little things, and then you can build your confidence to the bigger things.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk about like shadow work and not getting lost in doing that work for yourself.
I think that when we make a decision, we decide, like you said, I'm tired of being triggered or responding, I think that for me, I started doing the work for myself when I noticed that, I would kind of drift into dark places and then come out and then drift again and then come out and then drift again. And then also, just some things like the healthy responses is like, this person, why did you say that to me like that, And, and naturally we tend to get frustrated, and naturally we want peace. Our hearts, our spirits connect and long for peace, inner peace. And for me, I'm just like being sunshine that match with her, this really bad, upset, ferocious type, spirit. And so for me, I was just like, how can I reconnect and realign? Because that feels good to me.
Right.
It feels good when I am, respond. So I had to learn to respond in ways where healthier responses were a part of my daily habits and connecting. And that part for me looked like, hey, I need therapy. I need to connect with that little girl who was once feeling like, oh, these, I was hurt by this, or feeling like, this bothered me. And I think that a lot of times we feel like, oh, there's always a serious childhood trauma. But for me, I think that it was more of like an abandonment space that I felt personally. And I know I had to overcome that. I had to overcome those fears. I had to overcome and do the work and realize, okay, these daily practices have to actually take place. I have to actually actively pursue me. And then I begin to have a quality relationship, not just with other people, but with myself.
Right.
To me, it starts with yourself.
It does.
Yeah.
Start with
Absolutely.
yourself first.
And I'm gonna say it's hard at first.
Yeah.
Like it is a hard thing to start the shadow work or start focusing on yourself, because not just as women, but people, period, we are just so used to and accustomed to showing up for everybody else, everybody else, your job, your kids, your husband, your friends. You're so used to showing up for everybody else that when it's time to like really focus on yourself, you're like, wait a minute. Because when I started looking at myself, I'm like, what do I like to do? Like, what? Like, David, what should I be doing? What do I like to do, David? But he should be answering that. I should be asking myself, like, what is that you like to do? But it was hard for me. Like, I sat there with the book, thinking to myself, I literally do not know me in this point in my life. And I didn't know it. Because I'm so used to being someone for somebody else that I didn't know how to be Kenya who is what is Kenya? What does Kenya like to do? What does Kenya like to engage herself in? Do Kenya really like showing up for everybody in real life? Do she like to do that? No, she don't. But that's what I'm supposed to do in my head. That this is what you're supposed to be doing. But it's like, who are you? What do you like to do? So it's hard to start doing that type of thing when you're not used to doing it.
Yeah.
You just used to focus on everybody else except yourself. So it's really hard. But then when you do start focusing on yourself, you get emotional. You start crying because you're like, it was this that made me feel like this, or feel like I have to go so far for other people and not for myself.
Yeah.
So when you get into the space where you're actually focusing on yourself, it is a hard thing. But I say be consistent in doing it and be intentional about doing it so you can be able to learn who you are and who you're supposed to be for you and create your relationship with yourself, because then it hinders relationship that you have with your significant other, because you don't know. At this point, you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. You don't know how you're supposed to be reacting to certain things because you don't know who you are.
Right.
You don't know yourself. And granted, I did not know, and still working on it.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep moving. But those things are, then the triggers come. Like when somebody says something to you or you do something, the triggers come. Then you're like, oh, how do I respond to that?
Yeah.
Or you just shut down because you don't know how to respond to it because you never had to, or you never thought about responding to it because or I take up for people, but I won't take up for myself.
Yeah.
Or people can hurt everybody around me and I get offended, but when they hurt me, I kind of like,
Push it down.
but it don't, or I say, oh, that don't really hurt me. But if you hurt him, or you hurt my kids, or hurt somebody I'm close to, I'm ready to pop off. But
I've seen that happen.
But if you hurt me, it's like, oh, I'm gonna be all right. But then when a trigger happens, you're like, oh, that did hurt me.
Yeah.
Or I did feel some type of way when they said that to me, but I don't express it because I feel like I'm supposed to be this person that just shows up and nothing's supposed to hurt or hinder, who I am.
Right.
So that's the.
It's like you're just being false. You're not being, like you said, your authentic self.
Yeah,
So
I
if
think
you're showing up
mask.
as a false person, that you're here, but it's not really who you really are, who
Right.
you should be.
Yeah.
Right.
So you just have to look deeper. And again, being intentional about yourself. Like, what do I like to do? I'm out here, like you said, doing for other people, but what am I really doing for myself? At one time, I would never go into a restaurant and sit alone by myself. Like, I would see people like, oh my gosh, her down here eating by themselves. Not that it's crazy, but I could never do that. But honey, I would take myself out in a heartbeat and have a good old time with me. I'm intentional about, massages, just taking care of me because there's only one me.
Yes.
And I have to be here for so many people. So the better care that I take care of myself, I feel like, it's better for everybody around me. Because I'm more relaxed, I'm more intentional for myself, instead of just being chaotic and showing up as a false person, not knowing that I'm being a false person because I haven't done the work to get to where I need to be.
Right. And then with some people, when they get into this, doing shadow work, and they try to take on some of the biggest obstacles that they have within themselves. And I always suggest to people, like, start with the little stuff.
Right.
Start at this very moment, right now. What do you notice about yourself that you're like, I may shouldn't do it like this? Or what do you say? I get too angry too quick. Start with that. Why is that? And then you start to go back and start to see what programming, or you've never seen no one not get angry that fast. So you don't even know how to or what it even looks like for someone to not pop off at the smallest things.
Yeah.
So now you have to see what that looks like for you. So now you've seen the programming, and now you got to unravel it, and you really have to almost reparent and
Definitely reparenting.
you almost gotta reparent yourself because you gotta be conscious, you gotta be patient, and you gotta be loving and give yourself grace. Right, because you're not even learning. You gotta learn who you are, who you were, right? Who you are, and then who you want to be now, moving from that space. I like this question right here. What part of you that you're no longer trying to fix, you're just willing to understand? So what part of you you're no longer trying to fix, Because I don't think we need to be fixed. We just need to learn how to harmonize, balance, and use that. But what part of you that you're no longer trying to fix, you're just willing to understand? And I can start with that. For me, I've always had like a lack of like self-worth. So that's my main thing that I try to just, I'm not even trying to fix that portion of it. I'm trying to I understand where it started and where it came from. Now I'm just trying to slowly rebuild that part of myself, brick by brick.
That's good.
That's what I do every day. That's why I pour into myself so
Yeah.
much, because that was such a strong program
Yeah.
from childhood. That lack and just not being like you feel worthless. So why would anybody want to be with you? Or why would so you have that kind of frame of mind. So that's one thing that I don't even try to figure it out. I'm just trying I'm holding myself in a space of peace and love, and every day I'm just gonna build that portion. I'm not trying to do it all the time. Every day I'm just gonna put the brick. Okay, you good? You good? Okay, tomorrow we'll do this again. You know what I'm saying? So that's for me. That's what that is.
Lifetime building.
Yeah, for sure. For
I'm
sure.
just gonna say that it shows through you at home to us, so it allows us to reassure, like daddy, like girls say, daddy is good. And then it make me feel like, okay, I need to be good. So it's like you showing that at home. So I guess I'm just encouraging me, like or anybody, like if you're showing that, then it's encouraging us to do the same thing.
Right.
So so the things that we see you do is the same thing we need to do for ourselves, like loving on ourselves. Can you remind me of the question one more time?
You good? What part of you're no longer trying to fix, just willing to understand?
Okay. So I am no longer trying to fix who I am. I am trying to go forward in the space that I'm in of knowing who I am. Because if you don't know, then you can't fix it. But I don't, like you said, I don't think I need to fix it. I just think I need to learn how to walk into the areas that I'm not walking into, or the areas that I push down and don't try to go forward with because I feel like I don't have it. Or if I do that, it's going to be so much responsibility on me. So I'm not trying to fix it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to move in it. If that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. What about y'all? What parts of you no longer trying to fix? Well, we're really just trying to understand.
I think for me, it's the being so expressive. Even through relationships, and I talked about childhood earlier, is the just being fully aware of my space, who I am, how I am, and igniting that and making sure that I channel all of that energy into doing good work. And whether it's in the community, whether I find the space in me, then that's where I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stay, I'm gonna be, if everything else around me is chaotic, then I find that space in me. First, I find it in God, but then I find it in me because He's allowed me to be as expressive as I am. And I notice that. And I think when we spend time with ourselves, oh my goodness, when we spend time with ourselves, we learn. I was in a relationship before and, talking to someone, and I decided to just kind of, fizzle out the relationship because this person was like, they were in a relationship and then they were in another one. And I was watching listening to them tell me about their pattern. And I said, hey, have you ever, when did you take a break from dating? And they were like, I haven't, I always have to be connected to someone. And I was like, that's super irresponsible. That's very irresponsible of you, because how can you understand, and maybe this is why you have been in several relationships. And so connecting with yourself, allows you to do so much inner work, and you look at yourself and you look at that mirror and you say, man, like you said, what does Kenya want? What is she like? And otherwise you don't when you spend time with people, you learn them, you study them, and you are willing to accept what they have going on and the qualities that they have. And I think that for me, the expressatoriness of Lakeisha, I love me. I love sitting with me. I love spending time with me. I'm good with me. I pour so much in, like you said, into myself that I don't have a strong need for validation, or dependent on anyone else to validate me. Yes, you need to affirm, and that goes into another whole episode, I'm sure. But yeah, so it's really important for me, as far as expressing myself, is accepting that continuing to accept that. This is how I am, and it's beautiful, and I love me.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Completely understand that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Go on, you, Kenny.
I'm going to say worrying or overthinking, because it can be like, oh my gosh, your mind is like literally stuff is just popping off in your mind. So I had to get to a point where I'm like, okay, first of all, you can only do what you can do, and you can only do what you can do at certain times. So instead of just sitting and worrying and being in a dark place, because even though you see me on social media and I'm always, ha, I'm a person.
Yeah.
So I have moments too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
It's okay.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah,
it's okay.
That's
it's
how we're
good.
here.
It's good.
That's why
So
you're
just
good.
not being in a place where I'm just like worrying all the time, or how's this going to get done? It's like, well, girl, you're going to do what you can do.
Yeah.
Right.
So I come out of that a lot, because I talk to her a lot, and she's like, girl, I'm like, girl, some people, if they were dealing with what I was dealing with right now, they would be like probably want to end their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be some real stuff, but.
We commend you for, still smiling and still being able to be in a space where you can not only encourage yourself, but encourage the others. Because that's what it starts with, even though you look at those dark moments and then, you pick yourself up, taking steps after that is, you really are amazing for moving forward and still being positive at that. You know what I mean? So that's right there. You can't think of yourself as, less or anything, because again, it's not even about what other people would do. It's what you were built for. You was wired to do what you're doing.
What's going on is what's destined for me.
So, right. So then now you're in a space where now, and with shadow work, now that version that you had to be, though, to be in that mode, now you can sit that version so they gotta give it a space, give it that needs to be so the attention you give it neither can be a example of this is where I was at, or give it a role because it was there to help you at that time. It was there but now it no longer serves you. You know what I mean? It no longer serves you, but just so it cannot come up in inappropriate times. That's why I tell people. So give that old version of you a place at the table or whatever, how you visualize it, because you don't want it to come up in inappropriate ways. You don't want it to show up as a trigger because you didn't give it space. You know what I mean? So that's what that's wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Definitely wonderful. But everything we talking about, though, we're talking about really breaking cycles from childhood programming. And I tell people, because some people they're like, because I joke all the time. Kids love me. I really don't joke because I really mean it. Kids do love me. But even random kids though, like random kids will come up to me when I'm at work. They'll hug me or they'll want to hold my hand or they'll just do the weirdest things to someone that they don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I feel that, but then I tell them, and then parents be like, they start telling me stuff about their kids. I'm like, oh, that's so amazing. It was like, yeah, I'm trying to be the best, because I didn't have the best, since childhood, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, that's what's up. And I tell them, saying, you got to commend yourself because just think if you had you as a parent, what you could have done.
Yeah.
So you should, again.
The now us.
Right. Just think about that. Just set into that. And we all have great parents. We all, we have parents, at least for me, I don't even hold no resistance from my parents because knowing what I know now and understanding what all had to be done, and they were still trying to raise kids in the type of mindset that they were in.
My goodness.
I'm glad I made it to this age without getting hurt, without getting, without getting taken.
Without getting taken. It's a real thing, y'all. It's a real
Seriously. You know what I'm saying? So I don't hold a resistance to that, but I understand, that was whatever it was, and now I'm in a space where we all, thinking like this and moving like this with this kind of power and precision, you are a cycle breaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what in your mind, we'll just give one example of the things that you like, okay, this is kind of how I was programmed, but now I don't want to do it like that. And what are you doing to be, different than what you've seen?
Well, you talking about growing up, and I was always taught to show up. No matter what, you gotta show up. Because my mom was gonna show up. She was gonna be there. She was gonna do everything she needed to do, and she didn't show that we were struggling or we didn't have. Because she made sure that we had, and she made sure that we got everything. But I don't want to. But it just seemed like now looking at it now, and I can see my mom now, like moving through and doing things. She was stressed out.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. And I see myself doing the same exact thing because that's what I was taught. I was taught you don't need no break. You don't need a break from your kids. You need to have them because if you have them, then yours. And I get it.
Yeah.
But I need a break. And I don't want to feel sorry. And I don't want to feel like, oh my God, because I don't like ask nobody to watch my kids because it's been embedded in me like you're supposed to have your kids. These are your kids. Yeah. But now that I think about it, she got a break. We got without daddy. So now you get a break. But it's like it was like now I have literally like started like, okay, I can take this break and I'm gonna be okay. And they're gonna be okay too. Even if they're crying because mommy is leaving. They're gonna be okay.
Yeah, that's safe.
Because I need to be okay. Because I'm not okay. I just need a little breather. But it's like it's hard. So that's one of the things that I don't want to do. That's what I found myself doing that I do not want to do. I do not want to live my life like I don't need to take a break for myself and not get what I need, but everybody else got to leave. So I don't want to live like that. When I have seen it done, and I don't want to repeat the cycle.
Because when you do that, when you're not building yourself up, you can't pour out and give what you need to give to the people around you.
Right.
So you're doing this, you're out pouring, but what are you doing to refill that, to give it back out to the people? So it's very important. It all starts with us, with everything. Like everything is with us. We have to make sure that we're there for us.
Yeah.
You can't think and worry about what is somebody thinking or what is somebody saying or this person's thinking I'm stuck up or this person because I shied away for a minute, I'm not talking to you. That doesn't mean I don't like you, but I'm working on some things.
Right.
Yeah.
He tells me all the time, I'm telling you, what do you want to do? Go ahead. It's going to be okay. And I still be like, but I want to give y'all. Because I'm not comfortable with being by myself. So I'm like, what am I going to do? He was like, just go find something to do. And I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I going to do?
And I stopped trying to give it suggestions.
I'm not going to Winston.
I don't even know. Yeah, she said, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, me.
Because before he'd be like,
But me and I do know me and the girls, we gone.
or he'll say, you don't want to call someone. Like, nah.
Right.
At this point, I don't call nobody. I just want to really be for myself.
He's
like,
forcing you to do the self-work.
He is.
So
Always
I'm seeing that.
Again, when you remove yourself as a
That's
person that's trying to overhelp, because I think that's what I was doing. You overhelp,
Yeah.
because you feel like, oh my god,
I would get
I
frustrated.
got to be. No, and then she'll frustrate me. But then again, I let her. Again,
That's
you
good.
go ahead. Me and the girls, we gone.
That's good.
Figure it out.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
We gone.
You know what I'm saying? We'll be back.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But I do that now. I learn how to do that with anything that I do. I give what I can give. You can either take it, because I can't control what you take and what you do and how you apply it. I can't control. This
That's
for me.
right.
I can't control that.
Yeah.
But if I'm coming to you, you come to me, or I give a suggestion, and you don't take any of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I literally, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Situation.
Right.
Give me a suggestion. I'm like, well, I don't know. He's like, well, I'm giving you an option. Like, you can decide.
Right.
So
If you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't.
I would get frustrated. Like,
Yeah.
listen. And he'd be like, well, so you both be
I gave you suggestions, so just let me know what you want to do.
I love that. I love that question. I think as far as childhood is concerned, and sometimes we go back because we kind of, you do the work, you pick it up because it's like, oh, what are these things in the jar? And these are all of the issues that I had to face and whatnot.
Right.
I think for me, what I don't and what I refuse to take in the present or bring in the present is for me to, like, I think that there was a lot of not addressing concerns, and everyone just kind of like
Glossing over it.
Yes, the glossing. You know what I mean?
No, ma'am, that's what I said.
And it's like, oh my gosh, that hurt me. And then you got more glossing and more, and you're just painting over all of these torn up cracks in the wall, and you're painting over them. But then, then there's the heat, and then that crack begins to seep through, And I think that was, or has been, for me, unpacking those things that I felt like, oh, that hurt me, but I didn't say anything. And it's because I didn't, at the time, I didn't understand how to articulate it in a way where someone would receive it, or I would receive it, or I was the fear of how someone would take it, and then they would be combative, and then and that's too much energy for me because I ain't gonna do all that, At the time, you think like, oh my God, I don't want to do it, but it's so necessary if you want to have a foundation, a healthy foundation with family members, with friends, or with relationally. You have to understand how to connect with that space of addressing and acknowledging those issues. So I think that is the space that I have connected to, which is beautiful because, and then I want to say this, your transparency, I think that's when we're vulnerable, I think that's when we're the most beautiful and the most vibrant and the most authentic, is when we are transparent with ourselves. So thank you for just releasing and being transparent in that moment.
Thank you.
It helped me, so yeah, for sure.
That's
For
what's
sure.
up. I want to say thank y'all so much for just building like this. This is definitely something that I envisioned it being like this. Of course, I couldn't envision it impactful. I think this is going to be really impactful for just watching back and just being able to share and just build, people being able to just take one step forward. Take one step forward and being able to trust yourself. That's really, to me, that's what it's all about. If you can trust yourself, and then now the information, because you always got information coming to you.
Right.
And now being able to trust it, because it's coming from you.
Yeah.
You are a trustworthy, person or a trustworthy, thing for information to come to you.
Right.
You are, because you're manifesting things all the time. So why not being able to trust the things that are coming, understand what you want can also be the things that you can show up in your life.
Right.
So thank y'all so much.
I want to say
Go ahead,
two things too. And we tend to get caught up in stop. But as long as you're crawling, you're walking, running, or whatever you're doing through your life to get where you need to be going, the main thing is don't stop.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Yeah. Do the work.
Keep
Do the work,
That's
for
right.
sure.
That's important.
Yes.
Just don't stay in a place because it feels good or that's what's familiar to you. Keep going. It doesn't matter how you get to where you're trying to get to. You can't look at somebody else's, how they got to where they got to, because you don't know what they had to go through to get to where they get to.
That's true.
But focus on you, stay in your line, put on your blind blockers right here, and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Right. And I said this plenty of times, and I can reiterate it here because it makes perfect sense, that you have made it through 100%. If you're still here right now, you have made it through 100%
Yes.
of the things that you've been through. You know what I mean? You have 100% success rate.
That's right.
If you just sit and think about the things you have made it through,
Yeah.
you're still here, and you have, you may not be perfect in how you want to move and operate and think at this moment. You have a sound mind to better move forward.
Right.
That's great.
That right there is that's it.
Yeah.
That is literally it.
Yeah.
It is.
So I want to thank y'all so much. Don't confuse your shadow with weakness. Never again confuse your truth, sensitivity, or power with being too much. That part. Your power. Because a lot of us don't understand how powerful we are. And once we get to a space where we understand that, then we can yield that with more precision. We're here to become the version that magnetize. We're not here to be silenced in our pain. We're here to alchemize it. We're here not waiting for a mentor. We're here to better mentor ourselves and help co-create with other people, other like-minded people. So let's keep growing, let's keep expanding.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all again so much.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, of course. We're definitely going to build like this again. I can just definitely see this as like a big panel and maybe a big Q&A kind of situation at some point. So,
We would be glad to come back.
oh yeah, thank y'all again so much. And thanks again to Oasis at the Mill for just hosting us. And much love and gratitude. Ashe.